conditions threaten the Midlands, the American Red Cross is urging families to prepare now. We have Denise Teasdell, the executive director of the Central South Carolina chapter, of what you need to know before this storm hits. Denise, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so how are you all preparing for what is going to be happening this weekend here in the Midlands?
Well, our preparedness looks almost identical to preparing for hurricanes. So,
wow.
Believe it or not, we make sure that we have volunteers in place. We are doing a call down of our volunteer list to make sure that we have people available for our shelters. Again, we get shelters ready for hurricanes, and we're getting shelters ready for winter storms as well. We deal with disasters on a daily basis because we have home fires and we have volunteers attending to those. So our preparedness looks similar to what we do on a daily basis. So this is going to be a big winter storm, and we're calling down those volunteers and we're getting those shelters ready to be opened.
As far as when the storm actually hits, how does it work with you all? Do you get phone calls from the emergency departments, hey, that we need help? How does that work during this whole time?
Well, we ourselves, American Red Cross, sets up shelters, but we work in conjunction with our community partners. So as they call us, we prepare, we go and help them alongside, their staff, and make sure that their shelters are ready as well. But we always want to make sure that we're working in conjunction with the partners. A lot of people are going to get supplies that they need. So you want to make sure that you have your supplies. But I always say, don't try to go into the grocery stores, grab lots of meats and things that may spoil if we lose power. If you lose your electricity, you want to make sure that you still have food. So you want to go in and you want to grab things that you can have readily available for you, whether it be, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and maybe some potted meats and things like that. But you also want to prepare your household. You need to know where you're going if you do lose power, just in case, because your house may get really, really cold and you need to know where you're going. And with that being said, I always would encourage you to download the Red Cross app. And because we're giving you updated list of shelters that are being open. And we're also informing you about, where you can get water and things like that. So that's how we're preparing people.
And of course, as we are wrapping up our chat here, what is the biggest advice that you and the Red Cross have for people who are watching now as preparing for the storm?
In preparing for the storm, make sure that you have flashlights. Don't use candles. Make sure that you have your flashlights ready. Make sure that you're writing emergency contact numbers down, just in case you lose your battery charge. If you lose access to your phone and the battery dies, you have emergency contacts written down. Make sure that you are preparing for your pets. Make sure you don't leave pets behind. If you have to go to a shelter, make sure that you bring your pets as well. And just make sure that you're doing things consistently to prepare for this storm, ahead of the storm. But I think I would definitely want to tell everybody to just make sure that, you have Red Cross app downloaded and you have our numbers. You can always call 1-800-RED-CROSS, and we're here to help. And not just, one-on-one, but we are working in conjunction with our community partners.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
I like that. That is definitely a mantra that we have here. Denise, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.